Today we're going to be talking about profit and lifestyle, and if you can have both of those things while you own your auto repair shop. Now, the answer is, of course, yes, you can. And I had a number of questions come back around how that was actually done. And I want to talk a little bit about that today as well. So when you go into business for yourself, you make the decision to move from, technician to business owner technician, you have in your mind that means that you will have freedom of decisions, freedom of time to work, and hopefully freedom of time to play as well, plus enough money to fund all of that. However, the reality once you become a business owner is often very different. So what goes wrong between the vision that you have when you're a technician making the jump over into being an owner and actually being an owner, and then realizing that perhaps the grass wasn't as green on the other side of the fence as thought it would be. And often it's a lack of planning, a lack of capital that, gets you off on the wrong foot when it comes to owning a business. And what usually happens in the first few years is that you struggle just to get your bills paid, and you're the one that does the majority of the time, especially the majority of the overtime. And if you don't take a step back in your startup years, your early years, at some point, and recognize the patterns that you are in and the patterns that are evolving, you will end up running your auto repair shop in a cycle for as long as you own it of feast and famine. Now, you all know, prior to COVID, you would remember that our aftermarket industry naturally cycles through peaks and troughs. Random events like federal elections can have a big impact on when people get their car serviced, and it's being able to ensure that you have that constant workflow throughout the year that will even out those peaks and troughs for you. Constant workflow is the first thing that's obviously going to allow us to have a chance of making a profit. Having the right systems in place to ensure we capture a profit is the next thing. Once we've got a profit, then we can start to think about funding a lifestyle. And the 4-day work week, for instance, is a lifestyle, is what it sounds like. 4 of the 5 model about, each member of the team only working 4 days, depending on which model you choose, will depend on whether the shop closes for a whole day or whether the shop trades across your normal opening week. But we can't start to think about lifestyle until we've got the pieces of the puzzle in place that ensure we generate a profit. And even once you're getting to the end of your startup years and you realize that, hey, we're stuck in a bit of a pattern here of we're literally working this month to pay last month's part bills. If you don't recognize that pattern needs to change, then unfortunately you'll be making decisions down the track trying to carve out a lifestyle business, but the profit available simply won't allow it. So setting yourself up to make a profit in the first place, one of the big keys. And it doesn't matter what flavor of repair you do. It could be motorsport, it could be 4-wheel drive, it could be caravan, it could be auto, it could be marine, you name it. The same principles apply, okay? You must decide how much profit you want to make, and then we go about reverse engineering it all the way back down to your labor rate and your parts gross profit amount that you need in order to achieve your profit amount. That's how it's done. It's not guessing. It's not going through your business years and just getting to the end of the financial year and going, oh, we made that much. We turned over that much this year. Here's the profit on paper. That looks all right, but I don't have any of that money. Those types of scenarios should show you that there's no planning involved in that. That's just what happened because that's just what happened. So when you get in the habit of planning how much money you want to make and putting strategy in place that ensures you're able to make that much money or more, you start to have the ability and the power to predictably make profit, so that when you get to the end of the year, not only is that amount in net profit all available to you, or at least you know where it currently is, but perhaps there's even more because you put planned strategy around it to grow. You'll then be able to have the opportunity to make decisions based on that. So the 4-day work week is a lifestyle, yes, but it is also a way for you to ensure that you have the correct systems in place so that your business is able and your team is able to function if you're not there. So if you run a version of the 4-day work week, that means your team has rotating days off and you're one of those team members that's rotated off. Well, your business needs to be able to function without you there. The 4-day work week actually forces you to get the systems in place to allow that to happen. Now, one of the provisos that the 4-day work week goes from being something your business is trialing to something your business is keeping forever is that productivity doesn't drop under a certain level. Now, for productivity not to drop, again, there needs to be systems in place to ensure that there is a predictable flow of work, that work is done to time, and that there is a minimal of time written off. So you are forced to have the systems in place to make all of that happen. Now, the 4-day work week isn't necessarily going to make you, 2 or 3 times more money, but it is set up to make sure that you are as productive, if not more productive, or as profitable, if not a little bit more profitable than if you were just doing a regular 5.5 or 6-day week. So you can have both profit and lifestyle, but the way that you achieve it, each and every one of you might be slightly different.